Hey guys, Buffin Gaming back, bringing another video, and today we are covering the MK17 CQC, also known as the SCAR-H CQC Close Quarters Combat. So what we're going to be doing today is turning the FN SCAR-17, which is the base assault rifle in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, into the MK17 CQC variant of this weapon. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So here you can see the final design. So what we're going to do is deselect everything. We're going to go ahead and build this from scratch. So right here you have the base FN SCAR-17, which is the SCAR Heavy. So this weapon fires 7.62 times 51mm NATO rounds. And what we're going to do here is we're going to skip out on the muzzle. That's more so personal preference. I'm going to use the attachments elsewhere. So what we're going to do is select for the barrel, we're going to use the Forged Tack CQC Pro. So for this one, it's a short compact barrel. So it sacrifices accuracy, at range of speed, and agility. So what you're getting here is aim down sight speed, movement speed, and your cons are going to be bullet velocity, as well as recoil control. Now with the CQC barrel length itself, because you can see you have the 20-inch barrel and the 17 barrel. So what you can do with the SCAR-H is build a couple different variants. So the barrel length for the SCAR Heavy, the MK17 CQC variant here, is going to be a 13-inch barrel. So that's our Forged Tack CQC Pro. It doesn't say 13-inch, but judging by 17 to CQC, it's going to give us right about a 13-inch barrel. So we're going to go ahead and select that. For the laser, I'm going to put the TAC laser on this. So this is going to be that 5 milliwatt powered laser. The green laser improves accuracy while aiming down sights, exposes position when active, though. That's the downside for it. So the pros: aim down sight speed, aiming stability, aim walking steadiness. And again, your laser, your con there is that the laser is always visible. But this is going to help us exponentially with this build for this weapon. Optic, I'm just going to opt for a standard holographic sight here. Again, this is kind of personal preference. You can really pick whatever sight you want. The 4x flip hybrid is something I've used with it as well. You can also use the integral hybrid sight also. But for this one, we're going to go ahead and use the standard holographic sight. For the stock, I'm going to leave this one blank, but this again is personal preference. If you want to use an attachment for the close quarter stock or for the F-Tac collapsible stock, you can go ahead and do that as well. But keeping for the aesthetic looks for the standard SCAR Heavy CQC variant, we're going to stay with the standard stock that comes with the weapon. Perks is something we're also going to skip out on. We don't need that for this build. The grip, I'm going to go ahead and use the... Let's see which one we want. I'm going to use the stippled grip tape. This is going to help with our aim down sight speed as well as our sprint to fire speed. Being a close quarters weapon, this is something we're going to want for this build. Ammunition, we're going to stay with the standard 20 round box mag. So you have options for 25 rounds and 30 rounds. You can see the 30 rounds just looks kind of awkward on the weapon. But again, this is personal preference. But for the purpose of this, we're going to stay with the standard 20 round magazine that comes with the SCAR-H. And then for underbarrel, this is again more so personal preference. You have quite a lot of choices here. Operator foregrip, bipod foregrip is also a big plus. What we're going to do for this build is the Merc foregrip, mainly for the aesthetic looks that it brings, but the stat boosts are also beneficial for recoil control, as well as hip fire accuracy. Being close quarters, there's going to be some points where you may need to fire this at hip fire before you, say you're pre-aiming right before you ADS, so that'll come in handy there. But again, that's personal preference. So this is our final build. So we're going to use the barrel, that Forged Tack CQC Pro, going with the TAC laser, holographic sight, stippled grip tape, and then our underbarrel, we're going to go with the Merc foregrip. So that's our 5 attachments, and this is the final build. So you can see, very pretty looking. The good thing about the SCAR-H is that it's ambidextrous, so you can see that reflected on the weapon here. You have the select fires as well as the ejecting the magazine option on both ends here. Very beautiful looking weapon. So let's go ahead, and now that we have our final design for the MK17 CQC variant of the SCAR-H, we'll go ahead and get in game, and we're going to test the recoil patterns and then see how it handles in game against bots. Okay, so now that we're in game, let's go ahead and we'll pick this wall here, and we're going to do some testing for the recoil pattern. So first off, I'm going to just fire ADS without controlling the recoil at all. So if we do that, let's just see what the recoil pattern looks like without me controlling it. So you can see there, it's straight up and slightly to the right. It climbs at a nice little angle there, so you just know how you need to compensate for it. So now let's control the recoil.
Low on ammo.
So you can see there, if I'm controlling the recoil, I'm able to keep it pretty tight versus the recoil pattern of it if you're not controlling it at all. Then another thing you can do here is if we select fire to single, we'll take a look at how that would look. So we'll pick right here. So there's our select fire to single. Again, pretty accurate. And so is the full auto for controlling recoil. So it's not too bad. And then if I were to hip fire this thing, so we have 10 rounds in the mag here. This is probably your max hip fire distance that you would want. So if we go ahead and hip fire this. So there you can see, at that range, that's, again, your max hip fire distance that I would hip fire personally. And it's all pretty tight, right? So you have one outlier there that goes high right, and another one that goes kind of low left there. But for the most part, your center mass with your recoil pattern there. So that's not too bad for the distance that we're hip firing here. And again, this is a hip fire distance if you're pieing a corner like this, and you would expect your enemy to be somewhere here, right? So if you're pieing this corner, coming right around, and you're going to pre-fire right into ADS is really when you would use hip fire with this weapon. But we'll see how that handles up against bots also, because it does handle pretty well for the hip fire. So here's the distance. We'll hip fire this. This is probably your max. This is beyond max hip fire distance. So you can see there, even with me slightly controlling it, you have a good chunk of your rounds that are center mass that are going to hit, and then you have the spread that goes pretty much left, and then one that's really low right there. So not too bad. And then again, if we control this at full auto, going on this door.
Ammo.
So you have a little bit of bounce, not too bad with the horizontal recoil, more the vertical recoil you need to control. So you can see right there, that's all pretty tight, right? Pretty tight there. We have some that climbed up because I didn't control it correctly, but again, that's going to just go straight to the head. So that's only going to benefit you is that straight vertical recoil versus having to deal with the side-to-side horizontal recoils. So that's the SCAR-H CQC, MK17 CQC variant of the SCAR-H, firing 7.62 millimeter rounds. So now let's go ahead and get in game and see how it handles against bots. Okay, so now that we're in game, let's go ahead and see how this weapon handles against some bots. And again, this being the MK17 CQC, FN SCAR-17 CQC. SCAR standing for Special Operations Forces Combat Assault Rifle. Ooh, I think he's right below us. This is going to be typically a 3-shot kill. Right there, you can see that's a pretty good medium distance right there. That's our 3-shot kill.
Personal radar ready for deployment.
See if we can get some hip fire. So you can see it performs pretty well. Close quarters is what this variant is built for, is CQC. And it holds up pretty well. Even the hip fire, you can get decent accuracy at a good range, as we saw with the recoil patterns. So again, this variant is the SCAR-H CQC, so it is firing that 7.62 NATO round, so 7.62 times 51 millimeter NATO. And you can see 3-shot kill, 2 shots depending on if you're even closer. It hits hard, being at that 7.62 NATO round. There are different variants of this that we will build. We can also turn this into a Mark 20, which we'll do in another video. Unfortunately, we don't have the right conversion tools to do conversion kit and turn this into a M16, an MK16, excuse me. So the MK16 would be essentially the SCAR Light, and what that's going to be is the 5.56 NATO round variant of the SCAR. So that's just called the MK16 or the SCAR Light. So I'm sure in the future they're going to go ahead and add an ammo conversion to make this a 5.56 weapon, and then we can create additional variants out of that. But for right now, essentially we can do the standard SCAR-H with the standard barrel. We can do the CQC that we see here, and then we can do a Mark 20, which would be the sniper rifle or the DMR variant of this weapon. Let's see, I think they're below me. So you can see it handles really well again, and it hits very hard. 3-shot kill. So I think they're below me right now. So the barrel length again for the SCAR-H CQC, for this one, it's gonna be, where are these guys?
Enemy at the compound.
13-inch barrel, as I was saying, 13-inch barrel for this weapon, 13-inch CQC. The rate of fire on the SCAR-H is going to be 600 rounds per minute. That's going to be consistent again around all builds. So this MK16 is going to be 625 rounds per minute versus the SCAR-H MK17 is going to be straight 600 rounds per minute. Muzzle velocity for the SCAR-H is going to be... Let's take care of these guys first. Hang on. Try some hip fire here. So that's some decent hip fire range. So's this. You probably won't want to hip fire like that in a game situation, but if you're around a corner like I said, that's going to do the job.
Enemy at the courtyard.
So effective range for the SCAR-H CQC is 600 meters. The feed system, again, would be the 20-round box mag. You can see it just shreds up close. This is a great run gun. The ADS time is pretty good, especially coming out of a sprint. You can get down sights pretty fast. It seems like that's a large complaint in this game, is the ADS time as well as the sprint out time, but realistically with this build, you can see right there, I'm able to ADS right out of a sprint pretty fast, right? And you can probably even improve this if you put the close quarter stock on. But for this, we're not including that one. I think it performs really well just with the how we're compensating for that with the grip as well as the front grip as well. Darn, dude came up behind me. Muzzle velocity in the SCAR-H is 714 meters per second, or 2,342 feet per second. So that's consistent again across all SCAR-H builds. The good thing about this is you can swap out the barrel, and as I said, it's ambidextrous.
Reckon that's payback.
So another thing we can do is if you wanted to put different sights on this, like that 4x flip sight, you'd be able to engage this at a little bit longer ranges. You saw me there just a minute ago trying to engage a target pretty far away in full auto, which may not be the most feasible way to do it. So let's see if we can get some select fire to single fire shots here. See if we can get this guy when he comes around this corner.
Enemy at the buses.
There we go. So you can see there, I hit 3 solid, 1, 2. He keeps running away on me. This guy will come up here. We'll try and hit. We'll tap fire him. This is gonna be an okay range. It's good close to medium range here. Oh. Whoa, darn. You got me. So let me know what you guys think of this build. Again, MK17 CQC build. Hopefully in the future they'll add the 5.56 mag so we can make this into the SCAR Light variant as well. But again, this performs really, really well, and with the SCAR, the 7.62, it's going to hit hard as well. So let me know what you guys think of this variant. Have you tried this yet? Is this something you will use in-game? So you can see it performs overall pretty well. If you can get used to that slow rate of fire, being the 600 rounds per minute, you'll be okay with this. Unless you're looking for something fast, then you should be better off with an SMG.
Enemy at the buses.
Let me know what you guys think below. Again, leave me some comments for your builds. I know a lot of you have left build ideas for me to do for different variants, and we're starting to build those now. We did the VKS sniper rifle yesterday, and we have some other ones that I have on my list as well. So we'll be building those. Also, be sure to follow me on my Twitch page below, so I'll leave the link below in the description for the Twitch page. I'll be streaming there as well as on here going forward. And I just want to thank everybody for the support so far for this series. It's been unreal. I know we hit 1,000 subs today as of making this video. We're slightly over. So I didn't expect to get here this quick. I'm glad everybody's really enjoying this series, and we're building whatever weapons we can based on the attachments. So some things may not be 100%, but I know that they're going to add different variants or attachments going forward. So we'll be able to go ahead and make some additional ones as they drop more attachments. There we go. So that's a perfect example of the range for this. Good hip fire too with that tack laser and the grip we have. Not right there though. Not against an MG34. So again, this thing handles really good. This is something I have used in game and I do like it quite a bit. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. It definitely helps out small channels like myself, and you guys are doing a great job getting boosting me up here, and we're getting a lot of good interaction. So be sure to comment on the video. I'm trying to answer every single person's comments, so I'm setting aside time to do that as well. I love interacting with you guys. You guys have great ideas for builds as well. So this is the MK17 CQC. I am Buff Nerd Gaming, and until next time, Buff Nerd Gaming out.